Welcome back to Hannity. We continue now with Vice President Dick Cheney. When Obama said he'd close Guantanamo within a year, it's still open, when he was so reluctant to use the term war on terrorism, he called them overseas contingency operations, man-caused disasters. Well, how are we to interpret that? Is there a fear that our enemies may not like us, or a belief system that if we're nicer to them, they'll be nicer to us? What do you think? Where does that come from?
I think some people, and there were some in our administration who felt this way. I wasn't one of them. But this notion that somehow Guantanamo was a major cause of recruitment, a recruitment tool for Al-Qaeda. I just don't think that's true. No. I think my experience in that part of the world is people are more likely to respond if they respect and or fear the power of the United States. Mm-hmm. And the notion that somehow operating Guantanamo, which is, as you mentioned, probably a much more friendly environment and comfortable situation for most of those prisoners than would be any facility in their home country.
I think as we look at a really dangerous world today and nuclear proliferation, and you, for example, tell in the book you wanted to go after Syria. Eventually Israel did it because they had been collaborating with the North Koreans on nuclear technology. Mm-hmm. We see how close Iran is probably to getting nuclear weapons. And you think of the grandchildren that you write so much about. Do you think we're going to see a day where extremist elements, Iran, radicals, Al-Qaeda, terrorists, will have a nuclear weapon? Do you see that as you look into your crystal ball as a strong possibility?
I think it's the biggest threat we face. I think we managed the relationship with the Soviets all those years when they had nukes and we had nukes. But that was the same organization and sort of balance there. Now, I worry that if you find a group of terrorists, 19 hijackers, they used airline tickets and box cutters last time. If they had a nuclear weapon, they'd destroy a city. The people we lost on 9/11 would be only a handful compared to what they could do to us if they had a nuclear weapon or a biological agent of some kind. And I think that's what we have to guard against. That's the ultimate threat, and we can't take it for granted that it's not a problem or that it's not out there. It definitely is. And I worry when we get into the proliferation of nuclear weapons, whether it's North Korea or Syria or Iran, terror-sponsoring states, people that have relationships with terrorists, Saddam Hussein, Iraq, those are the ones we have to really guard against. I think we did a good job during a good part of the administration. Clearly, we took down the Libyan program, we took down the Iraqi program, we took down A.Q. Khan out of Pakistan, but there's a lot more out there, and we need to keep working it.
Mr. Vice President, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Sean. It's a great pleasure to see you as always.
Thank you. And that is all the time we have left for this evening. Now make sure to tune in this Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, my second interview with Vice President Dick Cheney. We'll have an audience, and we're going to talk about topics we didn't get to tonight, such as the Iraq War, Valerie Plame, Scooter Libby, and much more. As always, thank you for being with us.